Yeah, we're back.
Good. Everyone here?
Wait a second. Hope everyone is still here.
You can check, actually.
Yes. People are still here?
Great.
Cool.
Can we go into our private server group so that I can hear Nioh?
Yeah, sure. You know, it's...
So, also a thing, apparently, there were grizzlies in Utah, but they're now extinct. So maybe Zeb actually saw a supposedly extinct grizzly.
I think the grizzly is way more longer extinct than...
A century ago.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it can just survive. Like, lots of Utah is pretty empty, as far as I know.
You know what? I do think, you know, I just want to point out, if we haven't found the megalodon, I do not think there is a grizzly bear hiding in Utah.
They could have survived or just re-entered from somewhere else.
There we go.
Technically,
But again, I do not think...
it's unlikely, but we had several species we thought were extinct,
Yeah, but
they're hid in some remote corner we never thought of.
Yeah, but they're usually small.
Yeah, but people generally don't think if they meet a bear, oh, is this a grizzly? Generally, people don't want to meet bears. Because bears are... Bears?
New Bigfoot theory dropping now. I guess.
No Bigfoot theory. It's just maybe some survived.
You think really a few grizzlies just survived in Utah? We just didn't look enough in Utah.
I mean, we also have basically no preserved species of American locust because nobody bothered. Yeah, you need to kill them fast if you want to win. No key abuse shenanigans. You need to actually play well this time.
You know what I will do though? Mm-hmm. I will leave this level. I'm not in the headspace for that.
That's fair.
Not at 1 a.m.
It's not 1 a.m. yet. But then again, if you go back to animals like that, you could have just used it instead of put it into the hotbar. Never put that thing into your hotbar. Take it out.
Okay. I will do it in the next level. Or I can do it at the shrine here. But
Yeah, you can do
I
it
wonder.
now.
I try to remember what the British guy is weak against.
Does it matter? Right now, you just need to actually learn how to play.
I guess, but still, I do kind of want to use the right talisman.
Sure. You know how you find that out?
How?
You try. Also, maybe get some more ninjutsu unlocked. Like, it's embarrassing.
I just haven't. Oh. I don't have ninja skill points.
You don't?
No, don't have any up there. No ninja points.
Ginger points? What?
Ninja points! I said ninja points!
Okay, I heard ginger points. Was confused.
Ah, yes, the ginger points.
What is that?
Turned into Brother Bears. Oh god, that movie. I still don't know, was this even a good movie?
Have you the sloth talismans already up?
Yeah, okay, on 2, not on 3, but yeah.
Sloth talismans are the best things. Otherwise, there's a talisman that buffs your attack, and a talisman that gives you regeneration. Those are
Which
the
one
two
does that?
most important ones.
It was very from Pokemon. I haven't seen it in years. I saw it in the movie, I remember, and I don't know. I kind of didn't vibe with it. Well, that's actually kind of neat if you get to that.
Yeah.
Oh well, you know what? First of all, kill the British.
Sure.
I just, again, I don't know. Also, who the fuck just wrote me on Discord?
I don't know.
Yeah, you can see it. You know what? I will look onto here. And yeah, we're going back to England. It's like we've been in a good country. And now we're in a shithole.
I don't know. Especially at the time, I would say both.
Waving theory. Yeah, sorry. No. Don't say sorry. I just like, sometimes people write me. That's just...
Yeah. You can write now, yeah, whenever. It's fine.
Oh yeah, right, she's dead. Rip Bozo.
But you can't tell me England right there is worse than Japan right there. I guess Tokugawa's slowly gaining power, so it gets better a bit. But
Yeah, the Edo period was generally, I guess...
so the British pray to ovals.
Yeah.
That's an abstract egg.
Eggy. Yeah, remember those? Look, our medicine is also looking different now.
Yeah, now they look like, I don't know, old medicine.
Yeah, old medicine bottles.
Bloodborne-esque. You know, history is stole from Bloodborne.
Yeah, it's also... The name also changed from elixir to medicine. It's just...
You should go down there and destroy boxes and stuff.
Yeah, box. Oh yeah, there's a box here. Look, even the box is differently tagged. They put so much effort into just this one level. You kind of do twice. It's kind of insane if you think about it.
True. But yeah, we should definitely try to find something to play when Zep is gone the next... I think he said next 2 weeks?
Yeah, I think so. Again, we had a few times where we did the whole, you know, we did Marvel Rivals, but I don't think that game is popular with people as of now.
Yeah.
It's so dark. My brother and I don't like it here. But I saw a pretty stone the other day. I wonder what it was.
You know what's the unrealistic part about this message?
What?
This kid know how to write. Assuming it was written in not memory on the test subject chart.
Memory on the test subject chart. But well...
Yeah, because I know Lena doesn't want to play Helldivers.
Yeah.
So it's us and Lena and Bloom. So we probably need to think about what we four would do together.
Will you stay a while? It's been so long since I last had company. Dreary place, isn't it? I've only recently tossed in here myself. It was bad since it's been. Are you an Englishman? Entire country is mourning for the Queen's passing. She was so good to me. I would have done anything for her. Who wouldn't? Any citizen would tell you the same. She was a wonderful lady. You fought so hard in the battle against the invincible Armada. That's the lasting things about what happened. Victory was all oh, my queen. Why did you have to leave us? You still want to talk?
You have an interaction button, my guy.
I'd sailed the seven seas and visited cities across the world. Never seen such peculiar affections as yours. My lands, I simply not as men should as I. Pleasant surprise, that. Her Majesty established an organization of explorers some years back. I was so eager to depart, but not myself free, and instead, me. One of this nation's most faithful servants. Nothing like that foul warlock. Oh, just thinking about him makes me furious. You're still here. Take this and get out of here. You're a nosy fellow, aren't you? Don't you keep your nose in here much longer, you'll wind up like me.
Yeah. Fair point. I mean,
Yeah, I guess if you're like a bit extroverted and want someone to talk to, just go into a park with an interaction button.
This world without me. I can't die.
yet you did. Curious. I do know, back in the day at conventions, people put, question marks and stuff like, in World of Warcraft NPCs, they give you quests above their head. That's also kind of funny.
Yeah, and if you're speaking with gamers in your local area, it's pretty much depends on what kind of people they are. Can be a very pleasant interactions, or you just found some weird man-child.
I mean, yeah. I can't level up because the British shrines suck. Ah.
So the Japanese have the actual,
I mean,
like leveling system.
yeah. Honestly, every time people that call themselves gamer are just a red flag for me nowadays.
It is often, yeah, you can just drop down and kill one or two. Yeah.
I love that katanas can just cut through steel.
Bastard swords can as well. Pretty much everything can here.
Yeah, it's like this is always this whole thing.
Yeah, in earlier times, gamers had also like they were basically nerds 2.0, and nowadays, even if like the general population probably don't think necessarily negative about them, I think everybody in the online sphere has a negative connotation to the word gamer simply because of Gamergate and similar stuff.
Like, there's a reason in some German, circles they now use Telespieler, simply because, well, it's not gamer. Hello, Ryzen. Welcome to the chat. And yeah. Oh, hey, that guy is still around. This life has ended.
Luckily, you have infinite lives in this game.
Useful. I know. And to a degree, I only want to get back to the good part, aka Japan.
That would be a question for Lena, like in this time period, which place was better?
Gesundheit.
Danke.
Worst part is that the chairs are
They're very stable. They're prestige chairs.
it's still like ooh. You can open the chat on your end, by the way.
Right, I can do that now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, thank you to Red Summer.
Yeah, I just I hate something is really wrong with the inputs in this game.
You sure you're not just bad?
No, I pressed the up button and it lit the anyway. I can get him, but like I was just severely distracted a few times right now.
Sure.
Come on. That I pressed dodge.
You pressed dodge, but your timing was wrong. The fight in general, I think, is actually pretty easy.
Bloody pirates! I'll kill him with my own hands! Send him right to hell!
Well, that was Derek. He literally has a name. What is rough? Am I done right now?
I think that they're probably meant to fight.
Yeah, so it's... nah. I just try to fight him normally and...
Yeah, you're not good enough for that.
I can, but I'm just not in the headspace. It's also just late and...
I also don't see why you would need to fight him, quote unquote, normally.
yeah.
Just kill him. It's fine.
Well, you are... sneaky fellow. There was a lag again. Wow.
Small one, yeah. It's interesting that your PC is probably stronger than a PS4.
Oh, way stronger. But like the thing how games are optimized depends sometimes a lot on the architecture and how things are processed.
Yeah, also PCs have like high multitudes of variations of how they can be built. Meanwhile, a console has one way, or maybe
Yeah.
two way if you count a Pro version. But
Or,
they're
you know,
very
if-
similar.
Or, basically if a console is backwards compatible, then sometimes they're also similar. See the PS5, for example. But yeah, the PS5 basically just can brute force everything up, and it's similar enough that you don't need to change a lot.
It's still interesting that this is true, and at the same time we have so many PC games that just work for most people.
I mean, the thing is, if a PC game is like, everyone's like, oh, but a well-optimized PC games are usually the ones that do not have a lot of computing power anyway. They don't need a lot of computing power anyway. That is like part one usually. This isn't like saying, oh, this is bad. No. PC games with low computing power are great. Because you can, optimize them this much. But like, you don't have a lot of times where a PC game looks great and just runs smoothly everywhere. Like that's a very rare case, and I can tell you, even then you can put asterisks there because like, Oh, hey, we can finally enter that room. Well, well, well.
That useless fool went and ruined my plans. No matter. There are many more where he came from.
So more fools that will follow your plan?
Like, the thing is, in terms of, you know, when I think about, oh, hey, game that just ran well and was optimized, it usually is, okay, you need to have an engine that already is good at that. So an engine that usually has not a lot of bloat, which is, you know, and now we're definitely getting into the now it gets tricky area, because see, to have an engine nowadays usually means your engine has bloat. This isn't you know, directly a negative thing to a big degree. It's just, you know, if you want to get into an engine, you want to have like the biggest tool / feature set possible to work from, because then you can actually make a lot with it. However, again, you can have the other downside if you then, you know, don't optimize your shit, as in you remove a lot of bloat. You can end up with, well, games that are bloated in terms of technology. Like, again, making a clean engine is easily said, hard to do.
Making
I would
an
say-
engine in general is hard to do.
And even then, it depends heavily on depends heavily on the studio. Even, like, for example, I would say a bunch of, you know, for example, id Tech 4 games that directly came from id Tech are pretty well optimized. From what I remember, you know, how's it called? Prey, which we're probably gonna play soonish on Sundays. So maybe even this Sunday, who knows? Is a very well optimized game.
You should sort them by... I don't know what you've sorted them by right now. Announce value. Sort maybe through newest.
This one's the best, though.
Should take that first.
Yeah, then putting this one on then.
I didn't know why you bother with your second one, but sure. Maybe search.
What? So those are the best ones.
Yeah, I'm just saying sort for power or something.
Rarity, order by type, sort by level.
Value.
Yeah, so that's like...
There's also ability. And
No, I don't need it. There I don't have anything more. I have a good sort now, though. But yeah, like, the id Tech has a bunch of good games. And it has a bunch of pretty...
not ignore those.
No, tell me those things are really outrageous. No, the other, you sick bastards.
Look, the end boss clones.
See what I mean? See, I pressed up.
I
and
didn't saw at the time if you press up or not.
Hey.
If anything, you probably went over the right D-pad.
No. That's not how I do it. Yeah. If anything, I should press the left one, but Oh well, I should get this.
I know I sometimes had problems with this too, but I never faulted the game for it because I knew if I did it right, it wouldn't happen. No, I probably said that too often, but I still find it funny how Nioh was advertised as a so-called massacre game. And here you are with like 20 medicine and infinite respawns.
Yeah, it's like that's the irony about it, really. Especially since people kept saying, oh no, the alpha, it was too hard, and then, you know, you played the alpha and it's like, people can't play games for shit. Like, the alpha is fine, and it's still in the game, even. What? Okay, what was that? I didn't even see it.
Oh, you got shot from the side.
Yeah, that is always just a bit dumb when it happens.
You saw him wind up.
No, I didn't.
Well, you didn't. I saw it.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, if I saw it, it means it was on your monitor. But then again, I also know how to fight them.
How should I fight them?
You can't even go to high stance while fighting, okay? I'm done giving tips. They spawn fast, and I hate the fact they can just block. Well, if you do your key pulls right, you can pretty easily overwhelm them.
I I don't have a key.
You have a key pulse?
Yeah.
Huh?
Wait.
Not sword key. Key pulse. That's your normal R1. You forget it half the time.
I dislike that Britain makes me problems.
Who in Britain doesn't have problems right now?
Yeah, okay. Nothing changed a lot.
Tell you what you did wrong?
No,
Okay.
I didn't do anything wrong.
First thing, if you ever want to be good at any video game, everything you did was wrong.
Shut up.
Or more precisely, the fault lies with you. Always.
Oh yeah, I know, but still.
You don't know. Apparently.
I mean, I do know.
Then don't propose.
It's not
to
wrong, Seraph, though. Like, I fucked up here, yes, but I still dislike the fact that they have such a...
It's not necessarily very harsh. It's just the right mindset if you actually want to be able to do something well. Like, even if a game has problems, in the end, if you want to play it good, you have to work around the problems. Like, no matter what outside influences you can find, in the end, you could have done better. And that's actually things you can change. Meanwhile, most people can't probably open the code and fix their game.
Yeah.
Like, for example, if you noticed last time, Nya broke the horns of one of those Oni, or now she also broke one, which is way easier with high stance. She also often forgets to do the key pulls in between, which is why she's often caught with no key. And something else I forgot.
No.
Also, a small tip, never de-lock the enemies. Just nudge the right control stick to switch between targets.
I do that and it's...
No, you didn't. you completely release the lock on.
I mean, I'm still pissed that there is no way to level up in Britain.
Well, it just means it's a scenario where if you go in, you're either good enough or not. Which is technically increasing difficulty, which we would want. Also one of the reasons why I told you to do the side missions first before going to Britain. Yeah, only the Japanese know how to actually level up.
Yeah, Kelly's a homunculus.
Yeah.
Many times I died. Many times rose again.
So now we don't have to do this shit again. Gladly.
As you can see, their frontal attack.
Hell no.
Huh.
They kill them for sport.
Are very easy to interrupt. Also, if you would just use your counter, they would be dying so much quicker.
I guess.
Yeah, you don't use half of Nioh against your enemies. You have a working combat system, it's just that you will have problems against enemies where the fights should be way shorter because you're only using certain parts. It works, just the enemies where it doesn't work well against.
Yeah. Also, welcome, Claire. We're just here because everyone else skedaddled off fast.
Queen Elizabeth, learn the seven seas. Nothing escapes my sight. The Amrita from Japan has the power to allow anyone to conquer all of Europe,
Even the Belgians.
the entire world. Passing power, beloved Queen, sadly leaves the fate of the country in our hands. William, join me. Your country needs you. How
See, nationalists are monsters. That's the message of Nioh.
Also, fuck them British.
And apparently the British have weird desk elevators. Well, good luck. Because this one can be annoying. Kill the eyes.
Okay.
You can always get out of those hit locks if you use your living weapon.
Yeah, fair, I should do that.
Yeah. Also, just in case you counter with I don't want to use it, use Sloth Talismans. You're already making it very easy for you. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I know, it's just...
Nobody says play Nioh the hard way. The devs never patch the Sloth Talismans, and they are the most OP thing in the game.
They are. I'm just a bit pissed that my fire talismans are like... Oh, I only had one left, so...
Also, the eyes, if I remember correctly, they can load your... what's it called? Your living weapon really fast if you kill them, so we actually can use it lots of times. I think Nia's more reasonable right now than since a while in streams. So maybe she will. I mean, it's technically the final boss. It was a mistake. You did it! You saved yourself.
You know what? It's the final boss. I can style on him a little bit at least. But yeah, we'll never use living weapon. Well, that aged very badly.
Hey, she wasn't wrong. You vehemently were against it.
That is true, but bamboozled Claire. Whee! We finished the base game now officially, I would say. Yeah.
And screams. Technically wrong. He has 6 pairs of eyes, and you at best sliced 1.
Well, he had 1 supernatural and they spawned the rest, but yeah.
Look at the happy samurai doing a war.
It's like, shit, I need to go back.
Look, you're clipping.
Yes.
Oh, technically, before the DLC, you need to do the Nioh.
No, I do not need to do that.
They were before the DLC came out.
Do you really want to force the Nioh onto me on a day where you already kind of fucked me up mentally?
Yes.
You know what this means?
This means you're playing the game in chronological order.
No. I will do the DLC.
Then I'm very sad.
I will still do the Nioh, no worries.
Yeah,
no
but
worries.
that's cheating.
That's not cheating!
If you want to experience the game how it was originally, and then go to the DLCs in release order, then yes. Kind of a bit cheating.
The game is in the state now, nothing blocked me from going through to the DLC.
It's like saying you can watch the Monogatari movies first, just because they are.
God! Oh yes, it goes to Tohoku and then twice the siege of Osaka. So, do you want to see what is going on in the Tohoku region?
I want to see what's going on with the Nioh.
I will end the stream.
And
if
the
you...
invitation of the other side. Yeah. That also. Hey, you just beat the final boss. You wanna run?
And it's nearly 2 a.m.
I believe in you.
You can believe in me all you want, but do you really want to destroy my enjoyment of the game as of now?
I'm just telling you my preference. In the end, you're a free person who can decide what they want to do.
First of all, I will go to the shrine. Right, you can now level them.
Yes, you would kind of need to decide slowly which main guardian spirit you want to have.
Oh, I don't even know which one is good.
I like the Daibawashi and the Itokuri, but those are more preferences.
I get you. They were pretty good. The Irish one is like, oh, you need a lot of spirit. Yeah, fuck you too.
I think good ones were Kato, Karajishi, and Tengen Kuchaku. At least for primary ones.
Okay, Kato, yeah, I get it.
It's very straightforward.
Which one did you say?
Karajishi. But I don't...
Here it is.
Yeah, spirit protection, increase attack skill, guard key reduction, lightning damage.
I do need more spirit then for those.
Yeah, Tengen Kujaku is also. Don't know if you have him.
Yes.
They can be really good, but is a specific playstyle.
I can see it. More skill, life drain, and key and lightning damage. That is good. But I would need to bump up spirit for that.
Otherwise, Raiken and Daibao washy. If you use them more.
I guess.
I mean, here, quick attack damage as well as evasion key usage is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And Raiken as well, like dual paired Raiken. You are past them.
Yeah, paired Raiken. Yeah, you quite close combat damage. That is actually really good.
Yeah, if you switch more between them, it's pretty good. They're both for different things.
Yeah.
But first you should select your second Guardian Spirit.
Yeah, fair. Where do I do that again? Here. Second. Or maybe I... No.
First look at them, what they passively do, because since you're already vehemently against using the stance system at all, you should probably look for the best passive stats.
Aversion is not bad if that's actually what attack from behind and key recovery speed.
It's not bad. True.
That's really not bad.
Well, then keep them in mind and go through the rest.
Yeah, always need spirit. Yeah, here it would be strong attack key reduction. I really think Aya Komori is actually pretty good. More key recovery and attack from behind. That's good.
You use much attack from behind?
It happens. I dodge around, yeah.
Well, then you can level up your stuff in general.
Should I go for 2 on heart? How many levels? Wow! I could go 5 levels in.
Why not?
Fair point. Let's pump up heart first.
Depending on how long you want to play Nioh.
I do want to do the DLC first now. That's the thing. And then also...
No, I mean in general. Like if you do New Game Plus and the end game and stuff.
I was thinking about doing that at least in Nioh 1. But also I'm thinking like, probably it's more fun in Nioh 2. Also, if I actually commit on doing an end game, I want to do it with a girl.
Well, you just need some glory and then you can switch.
Okay. Do you remember how much glory do you need to get the girl?
It's actually very easy to get glory if you participate in a few clan wars.
Do you think people still do that?
Actually, yes.
On PC?
Let's see.
What? Oh, okay. I thought you mean 100k people are still playing Nioh. I'm like, who the fuck are talking about?
The last 30 days had around 760 average players.
That's not bad for such an old game.
Yes. Peak players are like under 1,600, especially since the sale. But it always got a bit higher, like...
But yeah, if I go into hard, I would get a lot of attack damage on my main
Hard is
weapon.
universally a good thing.
Yeah. I think I should... I mean, I think for like a full endgame build, you go for hard 99 anyway, so...
Yeah. If I remember correctly, you can go higher, but yeah.
And let's go into this one.
But my memory is pretty weak. It's... Worst case, you can respec. You did the centipede multiple times. I think that mission drops also the respec book, so...
Then let's do that.
Like, you severely overestimate how much glory... how hard glory is to get.
How much do I need? Okay, I still need a
Now
bit
you
more.
can enhance your guardian. Have you forgotten?
Yeah, I should probably get Kato up.
Yeah. Also needs Amrita.
Huh. To level 5, then I have Spirit Protection, get... Oh, you can have 30 levels, wow. But key recovery speed up, skill damage up, close combat attack key reduction is up. Key recovery speed, yeah, it's not bad. Damn. There's so much to fucking grind in this game.
Isn't that fun?
It's cool, but like I want to stream through the game. I don't want to waste my whole life.
That's not wasting, if it's fun.
Yeah, fair point. This is kind of amazing how this game like genuinely came out and it had something I would actually call endgame. Because like...
A bit clunky, but yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay then.
You want to make it yourself a bit easier and go to the DLC.
I want to look at the DLC, yeah. Because now cool story stuff happens. Because he saw stuff and you're like, oh...
I will remind you for the rest of your days that you never played through Nioh properly. But it's fine.
I didn't even expect to go right into the level. I actually thought I'd go into the map right now and want to...
Don't expect things. You will be disappointed.
I saw a trailer for DLC and rushed back to Japan. Yeah, I mean, bad shit is brewing in Japan, actually. Data Masamune. Wait.
A general good state of mind is not to expect anything, then you will always be pleasantly surprised. Well, not always, but mostly.
Yeah. I love that it's like, oh yeah, he doesn't have a main tower to be like, you know, I harbor no hostility. But like, yeah, when you're in the this much in the mountains, you don't need one. Was he that guy actually? Can I check one thing?
Sure.
Because I think this one is actually later, but okay. No, he's not that. So there's actually an interesting bit of story in Japan of what could have happened. So there was actually one daimyo who served under, well, Oda Nobunaga and okay. Letter to the city of Seville by the missionary Luis Sotelo. Yeah, he had a good relationship to the fucking Spanish.
半蔵殿、こたびはどのような要件か。世は家康様のお力で天下太平。よもや今更省略に見えたわけでもあるまい。誠に今は太平の世でござる。それも伊達方が
Slagging.
戦いの最中に上杉を抑えた働きあってのこと。太平の礎に力添えくださった政宗殿にはお礼の言葉も見つかりません。政宗殿、拙者欧州であやかしの動きありという噂を耳にいたした。
これは異なことを。あやかしなど取るに足らぬ噂でござろう。
重長殿、太平は守り続けることこそ寛容。どのような火種が天下に災いをもたらすやもしれません。よかろう。あやかしのことを耳にいたせばお主に知らせよう。かたじけない。ではこれにて。半蔵殿は異国の者とあやかしを重複したとき、確か安心は死にもした。ほう、それは惜しいことをした。鬼を切るということをこの目で見たかったものよ。
That eye patch fucks though. I'm sorry, that's a good design. Yeah, being dead never stopped. Yeah, there we go. Right back from Britain.
Weren't you supposed to be dead?
Thank you, Cat Dog PNG. Okay, so the thing I wanted to say is, there was one daimyo, I do not know his name anymore, I could Google, but that would take time. Basically served under Nobunaga, served under Tokugawa, and he was Christian. Roman Christian shogun, daimyo, that just served under them and was like, and they all were just chill with him. He was just like, yeah, you know what, he was literally, I'm installing Tokugawa Ieyasu as Shogun of Japan, because God told me to. And the thing is, I think in 1608, basically then they were like, we kind of have this beef with Christians, so like, could you maybe stop being a Christian? And he was like, no. And so they're like, then we have to remove you. And he was like, you know what? I'm fine with that, I'm just going myself. And he went to the Philippines. because, he kind of had good relations with the Spanish. The interesting thing is, though, so the Spanish approached him because, he was still a really good, he was actually a really good warlord.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, he had a bunch of people in his town that were, basically Christian samurai that served under him that didn't want to convert. And they offered him, hey, we can give you an armada and weapons and material, and you can become shogun of Japan, Christian one though. And you know what the guy said? He just looked at him and said, no. They offered him a Christian crusade on Japan, and he was just like, fuck you. I just installed Tokugawa Ieyasu, I'm not gonna do this bullshit, and so that just never happened.
You know what I'm thinking about? A Victoria 3/Crusader Kings version of Nioh. Qing would be OP. They just stop building rice farms, all the people die of hunger, and they have lots of Amrita they can use.
Okay, honestly, Amrita mod would not be that bad.
Yeah, you would get like radicals and yokai, but you can actually then collect spirit stones to actually do like strategic level magic.
Yeah. Can I say that I almost feel like I should just have not done this right now because I feel a bit tired. Which is kind of a bad thing because I should probably do at least one mission.
Mm-hmm.
Just so I don't just open the DLC area and oopsie.
You know what you can do if you want to pet for content? Just open the other DLC area and talk a bit more and then enter stream.
No. I will do those in orders. I'm not gonna fuck this one up totally.
But you already did.
Yeah, I know, but well. You know what? Maybe we can say goodbye here, though.
Sure.
So tomorrow, Date Masamune is gonna go onto the chopping block. If he's even evil, who knows? There's a blonde woman, and you know what Europeans mean in Nioh.
Or in general.
Or in general. Legitimately, Europeans in Nioh are just like the worst, except William, because I guess they just like the Irish. Yeah. You know what? I'm just googling it. Oh yeah. I think. Yeah, so it was the Sumitadas. Well, Sumitada, how was it called? Omura Sumitada and Omura Yoshiaki. Those were the Christian daimyos. They basically ruled over Nagasaki. So yeah, except good old William. Yeah, he's the only good one. So yeah, they there was a Christian daimyo family, and they were actually chill with Tokugawa, until he banned Christianity. Then it was more of an that sucked. So yeah, god damn it, I don't know what to talk about anymore. Shit. I just wanted to bring this up because it's kind of a cool fact.
It is cool.
It is. Like, it just shows you how much, like, it's always so funny because, this is always the thing when you look at history, that history is just wild and just a lot more complex than, because I hate the fact that even a lot of people's consciousness, there is this idea of a certain not monotony, just everything being very similar all the time. Oh yeah, Japan. It was just all one religion, one and one culture. And I'm like, no, Japan was like a lot of different cultures. Like, you need to keep in mind. For example, that if we look at Japan as a country, like Tohoku, where we are now, is the northern part. Nowadays we would say, oh, but the northern part is how's it called, Hokkaido. But like, there were a few castles and I think a daimyo family in southern Hokkaido, but Hokkaido wasn't colonized, like legitimately colonized, until hundreds of years later. This was like, Hokkaido was Ainu territory, and and only in the south there was like the blend between more northern Japanese and culture. This is kind of important. Northern Japanese culture, like Tohoku, is still similar to if you look to the south, where most stuff happened, because this was like the economic center of Japan. But like, Tohoku was very different because they had to deal with different climates. They had to deal with a lot of other stuff, and they were just more isolated, actually.
If you want to know more about Northern Japan culture and Ainu, watch Golden Kamuy. It's a good show.
Okay, Golden Kamuy is generally a cool show. It's just also weird as fuck, but it's a really good show. And hey, I guess you can even say that. I mean, hey, the new Ghost of Yotei will probably also dive into that a lot, because it also plays in, Hokkaido. So that's gonna be cool. Also, a very big thing I need to point out, by the way, is that back in that day, Japan didn't have any real unified religion. They had religious overlap. But for example, the Crow guy, okay? They're mercenaries, but they are basically they're monks, Buddhist ones, because a lot of Buddhists were that's actually an interesting thing. The Japanese actually had for a long time more beef with the Buddhists, because the Buddhists were genuinely a menace in terms of, like, they had mercenaries, they had money. The temples were fortifications, and they incited a lot of revolts. So yeah.
I mean, if you want to not accumulate any karma, because I think that's what that was the version of Buddhism they had in Japan.
Yeah, it's still a bit different, but yeah, it's very old stuff.
Where would you build your shit? In the mountains where nobody is.
Yeah, and even then they.
So as a side effect, naturally, even if you just go with the doctrine, you would end up with basically fortifications.
Yeah. And also
easily to defend places.
Also, an interesting thing. Remember those really big straw hats where you don't really can look outside, that just cover your face or the basket headset where you can't see anyone, and they the very iconic flute that they're playing. That's a thing that was developed by Buddhist traveling monks, and they spied for so many daimyos. Like, there's a reason they were basically distrusted and hunted, because they were just spies a lot of times. But yeah, that's the thing. Japan didn't have like a unified religion back in the day. There were things that would, for example, later become Shintoism, and to a degree Shintoism existed, but there was Buddhism, there was a lot of, local cultural stuff, a lot of similarities, and they blended kind of into each other, but there was no unified, religion. And this is like, people always think there was one because nowadays you have something, but like, Shintoism, like how we know it today, is a product of the Meiji Restoration. Like,
which you can see in Victoria 3.
Yeah, because the thing is, in the Meiji Restoration, Shintoism became the state religion, and specifically, it became state religion to justify the rule of the emperor. So when nowadays someone is like, "Oh, Shintoism is like this long-standing tradition," or what the Shintoism points towards their history and stuff is stuff that existed, but the Shintoist temples and stuff from that time have basically not a lot to do with the Shintoism nowadays. Which is, why the whole, remember when some conservatives from Japan were like, "Ooh, you can destroy temples in Assassin's Creed Shadows, that is so improper," and you can destroy temples, Shintoist temples in a lot of games. Also, like, again, keep in mind, their Shintoism is not the old Shintoism. Their Shintoism is the state religion made by the Japanese Empire.
Or, like, for those who don't know, the Meiji era started in 1868.
1868!
So I think it's not...
It's over 100 years old, but still.
Not 200 yet, I think.
It's not 200 yet. It's still a pretty young thing. You can wreck the joint. You can in Nioh. Yeah, you can. You can. You fight in a lot of temples, actually, in Nioh. And there are some old Shintoist ones in there, but no one better than I. It's just like... But that's what I will say. If some, high-ranking Shintoist people come up, you need to keep in mind, they're, the state religion to justify the emperor's rule. Well,
also Shintoism is kind of cool if you do fantasy games, because you can do so many wacky shit.
I get it, but like even then I would rather
just
be oriented on like the classic ones. Where
Sure. I'm just saying in general Shintoism. I never specified which one.
Yeah.
Simply because everything from a few stone statues on the side to the trees themselves can have little gods in them, or spirits, depending on your definition.
Yeah, but like that was already a thing they actually borrowed from a lot of, more shamanistic, like again, a lot of shamanistic religions that were still a thing.
The original Shinto was very animistic as well.
Oh yeah. So that's like the original stuff really cool to actually have, but like, there you can also look at older Germanic folklore and stuff that's also similar, which is pretty cool.
Basically Princess Mononoke, if you want.
Oh yeah. But like that's also the thing. If you look at how, for example, if you're then wondering, why were the Christians banned? Even if, there were Christian daimyos that were really loyal to the Tokugawas, even, Nobunaga's and Tokugawas. The answer is, remember the Buddhist thing? So the Buddhists, again, they were established and did a lot of problems. Like, we had the whole... we had this whole level where Nobunaga just wiped out a whole Buddhist temple and murdered everyone. He didn't do that for fun. Like, was it maybe a little bit overboarding? Yes, but like, back in the day, it's like, imagine you have someone who constantly does uprisings and wrecks your shit. He was just like, fuck him. We kill him. And the thing is, what basically happened is that Christians had an establishment in the during the Sengoku period because it was mostly because they sucked and kept getting in his way. Oh, I mean, yeah, sure, that's also a big thing. Oh, I mean, you mean the Christians? Or which one do you mean exactly now, Claire? Because, like, the Buddhists, they had already problems with them, but, like the Buddhists basically had, draw the short end of the stick because, again, the anti-Buddhist side of the Sengoku period basically just ran over the whole fucking island and just won. But the thing is, the Christians, yeah, they generally became just more of a problem. Like, for example, there were some things where they just, didn't align with. Like, for example, remember Yasuke's story? He was a slave. Nobunaga and basically all the other daimyos were like, what the fuck? Like, slavery was not that popular in Japan. As the Christians did it, by the way. Still served them, but, Also, another thing is, during the Sengoku period, Christians didn't have a lot of influence. Because basically, you couldn't do a lot. Like, remember, Spain, the only one who could have basically had any influence on it would have been Spain. And, they would have never done it. Because keep in mind, the thing Spain was known for back in the day was sending an armada. And if you remember, they sent 4 times an armada to another island where everyone was like, yo, all these people are weird splinter groups of our religion, aka Britain, and they failed horribly. Also, Britain sent 1 armada back and they also failed horribly. just want to point that out. Yeah, they could have. They had the Philippines, they could have. It would have been a massive diversion of their resources, and they would have needed to have an ally. But Spain at the time was the only one that could have supported anyone, and even then, this was not a guarantee. Keep in mind, Oda Nobunaga wasn't someone who inherited a massive fucking wealth or something. The Nobunagas were a very small daimyo family. And yet, that guy conquered almost all of it. It basically took a lot of, smaller families with, we talk nowadays about, Toyotomi Hideyoshi, Oda Nobunaga, and Tokugawa Ieyasu, but, before the rise of Nobunaga, they were not even considered to be big daimyos, or, any contestant of, being able to, rule Japan, or, win the Sengoku period, and yet they did.
I mean, assuming the armor in Nioh is historically accurate, he has literally a peacock. So
Yeah.
peacocks are a lot about intimidation.
Yeah.
They're so hard into intimidation, and I think it's also like a sexual characteristics they use to decide who to mate with, that they can't fly away as fast, which is the reason they often die from predators.
Yeah. Which is very fucking fitting for Nobunaga, actually.
Yeah.
He was very intimidating and still didn't run the one moment he had to run. But actually, interesting thing, the one reason why Nobunaga was actually able to, lay the foundation to end the Sengoku period was just, he had friends. I know, this is probably very funny to say, but genuinely, the reason Nobunaga was able to roll over so many other daimyos is literally, he had the power of friendship. The
power of friendship and the actions of genocide.
I mean, you can say it like that. Yes, it's not wrong. But
How was the one guy called that made a handbook for rulers again?
I mean, Sun Tzu?
Handbook for rulers.
I don't know that one then.
Was a Western guy, I think.
Oh, Oh, you mean Machiavelli?
Yes.
Machiavelli.
He was always like, be really cruel to those not in your group, basically, so that everyone in your group is afraid of you. But do not actually be cruel to them.
Yeah. It's like, yes, Machiavelli. AKA, if you read Sun Tzu and were like, no, I want to be more deranged. Still, no, but that's the thing. Nobunaga, Tokugawa and Toyotomi Hideyoshi and all of those daimyos that followed Nobunaga, were really fucking loyal. That's generally why in the history books we do not know the guy who backstabbed Nobunaga, because he was part of his inner circle, and his inner circle was loyal to a fault. They would not betray him, which was like back in the day, the daimyos with the most land, the most people, and the most material usually lost because they didn't have friends to fall back on, or do like Nobunaga was able to tell someone, can you please do this campaign to split up the enemies and pressure them somewhere else? I'm fine here alone. I do not need to watch over you. And they did it, and they came back, and they didn't rebel or do any other backstabbing.
And they weren't your son and came weeks later.
Well, that's a Tokugawa problem. You still like the guy. What a blunder. But yeah, that's the thing. That's how he won. But still, during that period, no Christians could actually have a big of an impact. Especially since that's an important part. No one really had the time and money to really focus on Japan, because as Claire said, big fucking distance to send an armada, and also trade was just worth more. And yeah, there were a few daimyos that converted to Christianity, which wasn't the biggest problem for people, because a lot of them did that so they could just have better trade and weapons. That's the thing. The Europeans had a bit more of technology that Japanese people wanted, and they wanted it bad, because you keep in mind, if those other people have really good technology for war, and you've been at war for hundreds of years, you gotta want that new gun. So yeah. Oh god, now I'm yapping just all the time. But but yeah, the thing about Christianity was, only after the Sengoku period they were like, those Christian missionaries and such, they are a little bit too influential right now. And they basically were looking at the Buddhists, and were like, considering those the Buddhists were on their own a menace, they were just like, the Christians, they have the backing of nations. Better get rid of them now. And this is why Christianity was banned, except the Dutch. I don't get it. Literally, why did... Okay, yeah, everyone else was kind of shit. The Dutch behaved. But yeah, the Christians became kind of a pain in the ass, because then, after the Sengoku period, a lot of them were just like, maybe we should start missionarying. And everyone's like, no, stop that. We don't want another conflict, so... Again, it was probably not the nicest thing they did. But yeah, again, you need to keep in mind, Japan was in civil war for centuries, and it only stopped under Tokugawa, and then they were like, yeah, maybe we shouldn't allow the Christians to create a new problem after we just they didn't want a temporary peace, they wanted peace. Because after the fighting was over, everyone was just like, yo, I'm tired. Wanna eat some sushi? They just invented it. It's kind of banging, actually. No, seriously, sushi was invented during the Edo period, which is like, thanks Tokugawa, we wouldn't have had a major culinary thing without you.
And you can also be really lucky that the tuna in this region at that point wasn't infested with parasites.
Oh yeah, that's generally good, but they probably would have eaten other fish then.
Also, she wouldn't have come into existence.
Yeah, fair. But I mean, tuna doesn't have a lot of parasites.
It depends on which part of the ocean.
Fair point.
There are actually parts of the oceans where you basically can't make sushi out of them because they're riddled with parasites.
Yeah, that's why they don't eat, they didn't eat, how's it called, salmon. Like, nowadays you think, oh, salmon sushi, that's just such a normal thing for sushi. Did you know salmon sushi is Norwegian? No, seriously. Pacific salmon, you have to cook because it has parasites. You cannot eat it raw. Pacific salmon is, cooked or no. Atlantic salmon, though, the ones the Norwegians catch, and they catched fuck tons, they don't have parasites.
I think because it's so cold. Yeah.
No. That's the thing. The parasites in Pacific salmon can't be killed off.
At least not while cooking.
Not without cooking. That's literally why you use Atlantic salmon, because they do not have parasites. And yeah, this is why literally Norwegians went to Japan, because they were like, we have so much leftover salmon. How we do that? And then someone was like, Japan eats sushi. How about we just make them, how about we make them horny for our fish that we also eat raw to a degree, which is tasty as fuck. Probably tastier than their fish. And you have to have balls to go into a country to be like, our fish is more tasty than yours, so you should adapt it. But the Norwegians did it, and they succeeded. And then the whole world followed suit. So this is why you see Atlantic salmon on sushi. Holy shit, I am deviating hard right now. I'm talking about a dish I can't even eat.
Oh, you can eat it.
I can eat it, but okay. You
have a very bad psychological reaction to seaweed.
Yep. Thanks, bullies. I hate you. May you die horribly. You're like, oh, isn't this a bit hot? No. Sounds pretty great once. They had the right idea. Yeah, no, so you know what?
They were successful.
Fresh salmon, or best smoked salmon on a bagel with cream cheese. Heaven. Just bangs. So yeah, hey, a lot about religious history in Japan. But yeah, smoked salmon on farms with cream cheese is my favorite. On farls. What's farls? I don't know. Can you Google what farls is?
Okay.
FARLS. A potato cake. Oh. Oh. I can totally see why you say that.
Sodabrot. Oder Kartoffelbrot.
What's the recipe? What do you use for that? Nah. Well, go on Wikipedia. They don't have recipes.
They should.
Like, generally. Like, I'm shocked that Wikipedia has like a lot of stuff about dishes and stuff, and like that's good. But like, have a recipe.
So
or two.
Irish bread, I think.
Yeah, Irish. Hey, oh my god, should I make Irish bread in celebration of finishing up Nioh?
I guess
I can do that. Just mashed potato and flour. Oh, yeah, that's actually pretty simple.
it's called potato bread, basically. What do you expect?
Yeah, okay, you're right.
Especially with the Irish, because I assume that came from the time where they either had only potatoes or had potatoes again.
But yeah, basically, the reason why they, the Japanese were actually pretty chill with the Christians until, they banned them was just there was war. Japan was, a very pluralistic society anyway, so like there were a lot of religions that didn't contradict each other, and Christianity was just one of them. Like this is actually kind of an interesting part if you think about it, that so interesting thing, if you ever read the Old Testament, ever noticed how Christianity is actually a polytheistic religion?
I mean, it talks about other gods.
Yeah.
One of the commandments is to have no other gods before this God, so by necessity there are other gods.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing. The point about the Old Testament is like, if you're part of this religion, you only have that one God, not the other ones. It's basically telling you to live monotheistic. Not that it is monotheistic.
What do you mean the world is monotheistic? Like, not that the world is monotheistic.
Yeah, it said basically the commandment.
Live monotheistic,
Live,
not that the world is monotheistic.
Yeah, they acknowledged that. Like, even then they said, like, other groups had other gods. That was just a thing. It's just, if you're part of this group, you had this one god. And also, it believes in Trinity, God by default. I mean, it's a bit more complicated, but yeah, it's like really not that monotheistic, isn't it? Like, as with so many other things, US evangelicals just bastardize the religion even more than everyone else did. There's 3 versions of him. That's the thing. I mean,
Yeah, the Trinity is a bit complicated.
yeah, but angels aren't gods. They're just messengers, Like, that's actually the interesting thing. Angels are not even, shouldn't even be considered to that, because, like, that's generally, actually angels / servants of gods, and also, prophets, or, how's it called? The people that get blessed by God, which we would know as saints. That's actually not even that uncommon. Like, that's in a lot of religions. Like, Christianity is structured very much like other religions, just... yeah. It makes sense, considering it came out of, like, one of the most polytheistic, they're divine beings. Yeah, that's the thing, a divine being... yeah, a divine being and a god is very, very distinct, especially in old religions. Like, again, a lot of servants are divine, but servants aren't gods. There is a big difference there. Like, how in Germanic cultures, for example, how's it called? For example, the Valkyries are divine beings, but they're not easier, so they're not, the gods. Then again, the Germanics had 2 types of gods, so, heh. Yeah, no, Christianity was only banned in Japan because, well, yeah, the missionaries and such, they started doing a lot of shit after the Sengoku period ended, and then everyone was just kind of like, yeah, no, we will just kick you out for the sake of everyone, and correct choice. But yeah, Christianity is a polytheistic religion. It's a very wise decision, like, holy shit.
I mean, you see the remnants of Christianity in Japan, and they're weird.
Holy shit. Like, okay, every time, I'm gonna be honest with you. Nothing really symbolizes the problem with Christian splinter religions than the cults in Asia. Cults that should have just shut down the moment they happened. Like, I mean, we literally had people trying to, literally just killing people with fucking nerve gas. Because they wanted to, bring on the apocalypse. And it's like, and there's some Christianity in that. And let's just be real here. We failed. We Europeans failed because, more specifically, you fucking Brits, you failed. Like, you went off from the Roman Catholic Church, and then your splinter groups were just like, we're just going to the Americans. You never stopped them. And then they developed splinter groups, and they were even more unhinged. And it's like, they are all basically the same level of insane cult, but the only thing is they moved away and no one stopped them. And you know what? Now we have Mormons. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, we also have Scientology. But they're not the splinter group, they're just...
Also a problem.
They're also a problem. But do you know where Scientology came from? Because I don't remember.
No, Claire. I don't say you don't have Catholics.
She's more talking about the historical British Crown, more or less.
It's more like, you made the British Crown, you made your own version of Christianity, and then, your splinter groups went off to, America, and they just kept populating and making problems.
Yeah, I don't know where Scientology is coming from. If it comes from anything.
It's a ripoff.
If I go by feeling alone, it's just the cultification of a pyramid scheme.
I mean, it is.
It is, yes, but I don't know its origin.
A science fiction author. He just wrote really bad science fiction, and then he was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just turning this into a cult and get rich. Which,
You have to give it to him, it worked.
It worked, yeah. You know what? I give it to him. It's just also again...
Probably one of the worst things humanity ever did, but it worked.
The thing is, if you watch, shit Scientologists made from his work, there's Battlefield Earth. The movie is awful, but it's also just really, really bad because it's a literal L. Ron Hubbard book that was adopted by... what's it again? A Scientologist who was just no, it has to be good because it was made by L. Ron Hubbard. And then, the movie came out, and everyone was like, well, that was bad. Just fundamentally bad. But, the thing is, when it comes to Scientology and what they believe in, the irony is that I think the best explanation for that is still the goddamn South Park episode where they just one-to-one just animated and just listed down what they believe in, and they constantly have to flash in, this isn't a bit. They had to really reassure people, this isn't a bit what they're doing. This isn't made up.
How was it again? Some god lined up humans around a volcano and threw in a hydrogen bomb or something, and then exploded, and that's why you have different languages. Also, you can pay your way up a level up system.
Yeah.
God is an alien with a spaceship.
Yes.
I think those were some things.
It's a lot of things in that part. It's just... Scientology should just be forbidden. I'm sorry. It's a cult.
Cults in general, there should be things done against them.
Yeah.
Religion in general should be more or less be left alone, but the state should be neutral in that sense.
But cults are generally a problem.
Of course, there still should be state influence with certain kinds of homeschooling because sometimes, depending on the situation, homeschooling can be good. It's just very rare that that's the case.
Yeah.
Oftentimes, it's weirdly religious or otherwise motivated, and it isn't good, no matter if it's for religious reasons or for abuse reasons.
Yeah.
There, the state should obviously interfere.
That's the thing, You can't. That's the thing. You can't, force people to not believe. always backfired. Never do it. Bad.
Yeah.
Also, what does God need with a spaceship? Great movie. Like it still. But then you have like, how do I want to say? But like, then you look at, generally, the problem with religions fundamentally is, and like, this is always a thing depending on fervor and size, but generally every religion, by design, will aim to impose their dogma onto the rest of the world, because this is literally the end goal of every religion. They believe in something, and everyone else believing in something different is, especially that is deviating a lot. Like, this is why, when you're like, oh, but all the religions were a lot more lenient. True. Two more local ones. Like, for example, one of the reasons I would argue that, Christianity lost its polytheistic aspect was simply, it was a religion set in a region with a lot of different religions around it. So, by design, to, not be someone who, again, if your religion says you're the better one and you have to conquer everyone else, you usually will make enemies. Period. That is just how it is. So a lot of other religions just basically said, yeah, the other ones exist. You can interact with them. It's fine. But the more, Christianity moved north, the less it just fit into that, and so it was the odd one out, and it was the one that just was in conflict. So obviously it became more and more monotheistic. It's just a thing.
Also,
like,
the whole praying and ritual stuff was way easier to do, which why it found such widespread adoption in the first place.
Yeah. By the way, I need to point out, saying the end goal of any religion is imposing its dogma doesn't mean that the individuals in the religion want to do that.
Yeah, not
Or that this doesn't happen all the time. It's just, it's the logical end goal, because the fundamental problem is every religion claims to know how the world works. Now, again, depending on the people who are at the top and who are in it, you can see that, for example, that this is seen as less. For example, the current Roman Catholic Church is, if we look at organized religions, generally pretty chill. I would even say they're doing, for the last decade, even good stuff compared to their whole history and compared to every other organized religion. So that's that. And also, most of the people at the top there will say, yeah, the Bible isn't real. But also, we can see in the USA, and now there's a shakeup. Yes, as I said, always deep dish pizza baller happened. Anyway, the thing is just, as we see with the USA, it is not, it doesn't take a lot to take the same book they believe in. And again, the Roman Catholic Church nowadays is generally an organization that is interested in science, that is supporting science, that has a lot of atheists, like, legitimately at their helm to, disprove wonders, because they're like, no, we're looking for wonders for the divine. So they're, like, extremely strict. But it doesn't take a lot for that same thing to just be...
Also, they can only do that because they're in a pretty safe position of power.
Oh, yeah. That's true. But again, it doesn't take a lot for the same source material to become some of the most virulent, hateful, and dogmatic cults ever. And multiple versions of that
because
on top.
But by definition, we do not really have much original stuff.
Yeah.
We have translations of copies, different interpretations of those,
Yeah.
stories included, stories excluded, and by definition
Or stories changed.
changed as well, which we know. And even if we exclude all of that, it's still at the base cherry picking.
Yeah.
Because there is no one who, like, there are basically no two people who believe in exactly the same stuff about the book.
Yeah.
Even if it's the same, like the same version.
Like, I know this is probably tough. This is like a thing to people are like, oh wait, what do you mean with cherry picking? One for a good example is the Old Testament is pro-slavery.
Yeah,
is.
buy slaves from the heathen around you. First of all, well, there are not that many heathens and slaves around anymore, but most people would say slavery bad.
Even the Catholic Church for the longest time was extremely anti-slavery. And yet, that passage that I told you, remember where slaves were bought during the slave trade? Yeah, that's how they justified a lot of that.
You can if you believe in it.
Because even though the Roman Catholic Church had one of the longest histories of being anti-slavery because they were just against that, it just took one small thing and people just were like, oh, well, our book actually says this, there are rules for that, so,
We can do it if there are rules for it.
we're not in the wrong here.
Yeah, it implicitly legitimizes it.
Egregious changes are the one where, remember the big one that all the homophobes always hold up, like, that they say a man shouldn't lie with a man?
Like he lays with a woman.
Like he lays with a woman? Yeah, so the thing is, that was changed. Because the original translation, they changed from Martin Luther.
Assuming he got the original.
But he cross-referenced multiple language, like Greek and Latin ones.
Yeah, so he's probably more accurate.
So he was probably pretty accurate. Didn't use the, this was the German word. He didn't say Mann, so the German word for man. He used Knabe. Boy. You can see what kind of insane difference that makes. And who he was out for with that line. Or, the Bible was out for with that line.
Yeah, so apparently...
why did they change it?
Yeah. So apparently, we don't know if it is the original, but at least at some point, the Bible was anti-pederast action.
Yeah. The Bible basically said, don't fuck children.
Ironically, they excluded women from doing it, but that's another thing.
Then again, considering, a lot of those Bible stuff was written a lot of times later, and raping of young boys was a thing in Roman and especially Greek cultures at the time. You can see why that probably was in the original Bible. Because they really didn't like that. Yeah, really can see why that went down like a lead balloon. Oh, they were fine for it for a long time. Then they were like, shit, we kind of need to justify homophobia. Because the irony is, there was not a single bit of homophobia in the Bible. They had to change a line that historically makes much more sense again. That makes historically, especially when it was written, so culturally and historically so much more sense, and they had to change that to have one homophobic line in the book. And that should tell you everything about organized religions and how easily that can swing. Because the moment it's organized by a hateful person, people will run with that because, he's in charge.
That's in general a problem with power structures.
Yeah.
Power structures with, like, not representatives, but authority figures easily fall into that, and religions are part of it.
And there's something that the love priest clearly needed a reminder of. Oh, yeah. Honestly, best thing Leo 14 could do is change that line back. Would probably have a gigantic impact, but would be based. Wow, the yapping happened still, and this was supposed to be a Nioh stream, and now we yapped.
Oh, you played for a while?
Oh yeah, at least 1 or 2 1 hour. So I'm tired from everything. But yeah, this was one hell of a tangent, going from the history of Japan and why they were actually pretty chill with Christians to everything else. Also, Nioh, it's still fun. Yay! I killed the British guy. So yeah, tomorrow we will start killing new yokai in the Tohoku region. Ooh. It's gonna be cool. And probably soonish, I might start Nioh 2 even. I will say though, just so you know, I kind of made the decision. I will do Sundays still Nioh as long as I play Nioh 1. And when I have Nioh 1 done, I will switch to on Sundays to Prey, because again, cool game. Want to show this one off, but still, I will play Nioh 2 probably again every single day of the week, because
except Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday.
Yeah, so 4 weeks of the day is gonna be Nioh 2. 3 days is gonna be something else. Because I'm not gonna finish this in a reasonable time frame if I did it otherwise. I do not know if I have to do the same for Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. We will see, because I got that. Thanks, Claire, again. So, yeah, that one will be pushed a bit back after Nioh, though. Depending on how much progress I can make each day. This is gonna be a few months of action RPGs, and then... yeah. See you all around. Thanks also, Gunya, for staying with me and yapping.
I'm living here.
Yeah, but you could be on the bed and reading Gay Witches.
That's true.
Also, I will say one thing. Probably one day... we will see that. Probably one day, one evening next week, maybe Tuesday or so, I will not do Nioh, but do the new Delta Force season until when I unlocked all the stuff. Hey, it's informative historic stuff, and if I'm wrong, you can still yell at me that I'm wrong.
Yes, fact check us.
Yes. Because I totally surround myself with yes men.
No, just in general. It's always a good thing to fact check things before completely believing stuff. Simply because we can be wrong.
I can be totally wrong. Like, yeah, don't trust what I'm saying. If it's like, this sounds cool, check yourself. Anyway, see you all around, and see you tomorrow for more Nioh. Good night.
Bye.